I'm gonna record this. Got that? So, if you don't follow me on Instagram, then you will not know about this. But if you do, then you already know I've done this. A couple months back, in like September, I want to say, I made a magical little creature called Toothless. This is what he looked like. He was for a Lord of the Rings photo shoot. It was an absolute labor of love to make. And yeah, it was one of those things that, something was like awakened, unlocked within me when I made him. This is where this idea kind of sprung from. Okay. I was just minding my business a little while ago, perusing the interwebs, and I see this video by Rachel Maxey, who is honestly my ultimate inspiration of chaotic craft gobbling, and that's when the light bulb, it goes off in my brain, and I'm like, oh my god, I should make my own cute little toothless weighted dragon doll. And that's what we're gonna do today. Okay, so this is the game plan. This is the inspiration. I'm going for like baby Toothless, like when he has little offspring. We want cute, small, heavy, and just overall cuddly and adorable and dragon-esque. I'm not gonna be perfect, it's going for good enough. First thing I gotta do is head to the fabric store to get the materials that I need to make this thing, which I was reading over the instructions last night and maybe more complicated than I anticipated, but that's okay. We're gonna work through it. Go to the fabric store for materials. So many. Okay, back inside the car. Wasn't able to find any of the fabric that I was looking for. They had like the right fabric, but the wrong colors for it. It was all like grays and like purples and blues and stuff like that. So I'm gonna have to try a different fabric store tomorrow, hopefully, and hope that they have what I'm looking for then. Okay, this is fabric store number 2. Second attempt trying to find fabric. There's so much stuff in here that it's like frankly overwhelming. I don't know where anything is, and I don't know where I was supposed to be looking. Okay, we're back to my cruddy camera audio. So in the end, I did end up going just onto Etsy and ordering some fabric, which I will link down below, but it just came in today. Let us open and see what it looks like. Alrighty, so I cannot remember for the life of me what the seller on Etsy's name was. I will put it right here. But the fabric I got is like a black minky, I think is what it was called, which I guess is a common we use material when making like those soft fuzzy stuffed animals. This is so crinkly. Okay, I'm just gonna take it out of the package and then we'll talk about it. So I got 2 yards of this fabric because the pattern that I'm using is actually a neck pillow pattern, and you probably need about 1.5 yards. So much of it. So I don't know if you can see in this, but it's basically just black fuzzy fabric. Nothing fancy, just kind of soft and fuzzy, which I think is going to make him really nice to hold. And hopefully this, in theory, should be enough to do his whole body and head and wings and tail and like the whole shebang. So be like this long with his tail will be out here. I'm so excited. Okay, I can't be bothered to get out my large camera, so here you are, phone camera. I'm currently trying to assemble the pattern for my Toothless dragon. And so the pattern I have though is like 4 different types of dragons in one pattern. This is what everything looks like. It's chaos. It's like trying to put a complicated jigsaw puzzle together, but everything's out of order and you don't fully understand what anything means.
So I forgot to basically explain what I'm doing here. So essentially I am just taking the original curved pattern for the like neck pillow dragon, and essentially just tracing it out to try to straighten it. I'm sure there's probably better ways of doing this, but this is just the method that I use, which is just kind of eyeballing it and doing my best. Alrighty, ignore the 3D printer in the background. Okay, so I've traced out 2 of these snake tube patterns for the body. I have the outer body here, and I have the belly. And so, they're pretty straight. It's hard to tell from this angle. There you go. You can kind of see them. It's harder to see on the camera. I'm going to go over these lines again. I'm basically going to cut both these pieces out. And I'm gonna pull out some fabric from my scrap bin and see if with these 2 pieces I can still form a body and that they are all correct and I don't need to trace out the inner tube, or yeah, inner body piece. But I think in theory that these 2 pieces right here should work and still all connect together. They should all be about the same length. Tubes have been cut out. We got 2 lovely snaky tubes. Alright, so I have made a mock-up of the body. And it's giving sock energy a little bit, maybe tail. I think if I make it just a smidgen bigger, I think it will be okay. It is the next day, and I've made a new mock-up of the body pattern based off of the pattern I used or made to make Took, because I really like Took's general like shape and kind of like feel to him, and I kind of want like Toothless to be a little bit kind of similar, like a little baby version of this, so not quite as fluffy. So I made a new pattern, kind of smushing the dragon neck pillow pattern and the pattern I had for Took to kind of come up with this looking thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a really skinny piece, so I might still use this belly pattern and just like extend it to use for my new mock-up, which is what I have here. So this is the new one. The belly is a lot thinner on here, which I think it would be better to be a little thicker just because it's a bit easier to attach. And I might adjust the neck kind of a little bit to better match the original dragon pillow pattern, just so it's kind of similar in that regard, but the body shape is a lot better, is a lot thicker. He's kind of got a shape to it, and then, you know, gonna have little wings. They'll be really long. They're kind of like that. So yeah, I think I'll adjust the pattern, and then we'll maybe lay out this fabric.
Days later.
Okay, so I've been working on his face for the last like 2 days, I guess. And I did do a test run, not a test run, I did half of his eyes with the embroidery hoop, which I picked up some supplies for the other day. These are all the little bits for his eyes. And I finished one of them. I think I placed the eye, when I was cutting it out, I cut it too low, which I guess worst comes to worst. I can always cut it out and put it on something else. I just don't want to. But, so that's what his one eye looks like. I think the eye itself is okay, just don't look too closely. It's horrendous. But when I'm like looking at this, I try to like place this over and just like feel her out. And I think I got this placement a little wrong, and that I should have placed this a little higher because this is a bit more like centered while this is a little lower on the head. So we'll see how it looks. If it doesn't work, I'll just cut it out and sew them onto these other headpieces that I initially cut out. But yeah, that's the first eye done. I didn't film any of it. I kind of just sat on the couch for like 3 hours watching movies and TV shows and did that. So it's horrible on the other side, but that's eye number one. So as far as the materials go, this very messy table, we have 4 types of embroidery thread. We have the white thread for like the little like pupil shine bit, black thread for the actual like pupil of the eye, and then I got 2 combinations of green thread for his like actual like irises, because if you look at a picture of Toothless eyes, here we go. So if you look at an actual picture of Toothless's eyes, like they've kind of got like a few colors going on. There's like light greens, darker greens, and like yellow going on in the actual nostrils and eyeballs. So in order to kind of get that mixture of color, I combined this like more, not lime green, but like a lighter neon greenish color with this more like darker green, and kind of thread them together, and it made this, which is like, you can see if you like look really close, you can see there's like hints of like a lighter yellowy green in there. Okay, so that was his right eyeball. Now we're going left eyeball, so we have 2 eyeballs like such. So I'm gonna do the eyeball part first, which is the hard part. This is the part I struggle with because my pencils just don't really show up on this fabric at all. Okay. This one's doing better now. I feel like it still buffs out, but okay, let's try it. Okay, it is many hours later. It's 10 o'clock now. I've been needle pointing, or I've been, oh my god, what's the word? What is this called? I've been embroidering this word. Okay, so I've been embroidering this eye for the last couple hours. It's been a road. It's been a journey to get this eyeball done. Like, it's not perfect by no means, but it's okay. It's pretty halfway decent. So yeah, we're gonna call it a night and pick this up tomorrow. Do you ever just love when you spent an amount of time doing something only to realize that it's the wrong frickin' direction? and you gotta redo it all. In other exciting news, I am officially beginning sewing. I'm sewing the body, which is why I'm sad, because it's the longest piece. I think the wing, yeah, it's the longest piece that I have to do. And I have to repin it again, which is just annoying. Looks, I don't know. My goal is to sew everything, most of it at least, today, and then start stuffing and attaching tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. Oh my god, I am freaking the freaking heck out right now. You know, I was having my doubts about how well this project was gonna work out. But this, and this give me hope. I just finished sewing the full head. This is it inside out. This is the moment of truth, as if this works. Cause oh my god. I gotta still like clip a few things, but look at it. He's got a chin. Like an actual chin. Honestly, I think the whole thing so far I'm learning about this project is that I need to have a bit more confidence in myself in being able to do it. And the instructions are really easy, but I was really worried that this would be too complicated. But look at that. Oh, I'm making progress on these little tiny little nubbins that go around Toothless's head. I did have to cut his neck because it was way too long, so I cut off, I don't know, a couple inches or something like that off it. So he looks like this so far. Still got to do the tail. And gotta finish sewing these little nubbin thingies and then do his toe beans. And then the last thing to do will be to redraw out the wing pattern, because I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, I think. I'm gonna lay out my fabric. Should just double check. We're making progress, people. Progress. Alright guys, he is just about done. All of his appendages are sewn on. The only thing left to do is to paint the little skull on his tail. So I'm about to do that and then he will be ready to go. Okay, so this is like the design, that's on Toothless's tail. I was going to trace it out, but I think now I'm just going to freehand it and we'll see how that goes. Okay, he's just about done, and I think that means it is finally time to go to the reveal. Here he is! Alright, wrap up time. So here he is, my baby Toothless dragon. I love him so much. He is so cute and soft and cuddly, and I just wanted to carry him around and hug him all the time. So things that went well making Toothless, I would say overall, the overall design and kind of like how he turned out, I'm like so stoked on. He turned out way better than I was expecting. I wasn't really sure how well the straightening of the pattern would go, as well as like mushing together toque and the dragon pillow pattern together would work. But it actually turned out really, really well, and I am so happy with how his body overall kind of turned out. I also really love his tail, the little like skull dragon tail. I think it's really stinking cute. So I think that part also turned out really, really great. His wings turned out better than I had thought. I struggled a lot on doing the wings and making them bigger. Same with his little tail fins here that he has. These I drafted up myself because it wasn't included in the original like pattern for the neck pillow, so I did those myself. But overall, I think I'm really, really happy with how he turned out, and I think he's really, really cute. The eyes turned out way better than I was expecting. I wasn't really confident in my first time ever embroidering something with how they were gonna turn out, so it looks a lot nicer than I would have thought it was initially going to. They're not perfectly alike, but they're pretty dang close, which I will take for a first time embroiderer. So I'll take that they look pretty damn similar. For things that I would do differently for the next time I ever make magical dragon, or if I make this pattern ever again, there are a few things that I didn't fully follow the instructions because there was like two different sets of instructions. There's like a pattern hack, one for Toothless specifically, and then there's just the regular neck pillow instructions, so I wasn't following the instructions super well, and most of these things are like user error. So it just meant I had to do a lot more hand sewing when attaching his like spine and like these little nubbins on the side of his face. All of these things I should have attached before like fully closing everything, but I didn't, so I just had to hand sew it all, so it was kind of just more of an annoyance for me. I would also probably maybe do a different pattern for his feet. I'm not like super in love with how his feet look. They're kind of like skinny and scrawny, and his toes aren't quite what I would have liked them. So I would probably redo the feet with a different pattern just so they're kind of a bit more like thick and have more 3D dimension to them. I would also sew down the beanbag that's in him because it kind of shifts around, and we had done that for Toque and I just completely forgot about that. So I would sew down the beanbag so that it wouldn't kind of move around, it would stay kind of still because it kind of hangs really low in his belly and like where his tail goes. But that's okay. He's also not as heavy as I would have initially liked him, mostly because I ran out of beads and I just could not be bothered to go out to the craft store again to get more beads. So he's not quite as heavy as like an actual weighted toy, which is kind of what I really wanted him to be. But he's still pretty heavy, and I'll take that, and he still feels nice to hold and cute and cuddly. So maybe one day I will actually get to like a fully proper like weighted toy where like the wings will be heavy and stuff like that, so when it like sits on you it's like pressure, which is kind of what I intended with him. But you know, now I just have a cute baby dragon and I'm pretty stoked on that. But other than that, I think he's really cute, and I love him so much. He's not obviously a perfect replica of Toothless from the movie. He's kind of like, his head shape's all wrong and a few other things are different. But overall, I think he's really cute and I'm really happy and I love him so much. You know, he can go join my little army of little guys that I seem to be making and accumulating. He's just... like, he looks like a toy, and that's okay. That's kind of what I wanted anyways. I just wanted a cute little baby dragon to be my friend and hang out with. This is your sign to go make yourself little guys because they're so cute. And of course, I will have also the Etsy shop that I got the fabric for Toothless as well as the pattern for him all down below, so you can make your own little baby dragon. And, you know, coming from as a beginner sewer, which I still think very much so of myself, I'm very much fumbling my way through it as someone who's still learning the grips of sewing, this actually wasn't that bad to do. Even though the pattern does say it's kind of like intermediate, I thought the instructions were really helpful, and there was a lot of pictures and they're easy to follow and they're super detailed on the material list, which I really appreciated. So it's definitely something you can, if you want to kind of like step up your sewing game a little bit and try out something different that I think other people could totally accomplish and do. Very doable. It might be a little different from mine, but honestly straightening out the pattern isn't that bad. And yeah, maybe, hopefully, there won't be so much time in between the last craft video, like sewing video, and the next one. I don't know for sure, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this video nonetheless. I hope to be able to upload a few more kind of crafty videos like this and me making costumes and stuff like that. As you can see, even in the background, my fabric stash shelves and shelves in general are absolutely overflowing with fabric materials for a lot of projects and fun things I have ideas for. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Doodles. This project, oh my gosh, dogs, silent. Someone's gonna come out here and it's gonna be really awkward. This looks like a stocking, or this was a fish, really long fish. It's impressive. Yeah. Cinema! Is this cinematic for you? I'm so excited! My son! It's all coming together.